Now I know I'm gonna be raising some eyebrows with this one, for labeling it as the perfect melee weapon in the game, but I'm not gonna change my mind, but instead, I will try to convince you on why did I say that this is the perfect melee weapon right now in Warframe. Okay, I know you are somehow excited, so let's cut any long introduction and begin this video. The perfect melee right now is craftable. Yes, it is a Zor. The recent update did add a couple of new Zor parts and some of them yields the perfect stats and quality for this melee weapon that I'm talking about. I did name this weapon as Friede's Great Scythe. There's no more worthy name for this weapon than Friede's Scythe. Well, as you already know, I'm a big Dark Souls fan and I really love most weapons on that game that I've named a few of my Warframe weapons with Dark Soul boss weapons. No copyright intended. I just want that Dark Soul vibes while playing Warframe. So anyway, I did named it a scythe, but the truth is, this Zor is not a scythe. It's actually a heavy blade which is composed of the new Doctrum strike and Stung grip. Now I have tried several grips, but the Stung is the perfect grip for me and it suits me well. However, you can try out a different variation or grip, as in the end, it all boils down to personal preference. For the link, I have my favorite Equana JI2 which gives me that balance crit chance and status chance. Not only that, I'm also a big fan of attack speed, which is why I really love this link. So as you can see, most of the damage dealt by this Zor is slash and it got a pretty nice crit chance and status chance, which is perfect for a hybrid crit status build. The IPS distribution is good as well and it rocks a solid 1.03 attack speed for a heavy blade. So that's how you build Friede's Great Scythe in Warframe. Now, let's take a look on how I mod this weapon. Now I did tried a couple of build variation, but the mod setup you are seeing in front of you is the one that works for my play style. It's basically a combination of attack speed, crit chance, with slash and bleed damage. I'm really a big fan of fast weapons, and watching enemies bleed to death, which is why I choose to mod it this way. However, you can replace the mods you see here and tune it to your own liking. But, never replace Tempo Royal. This stance is really amazing as it gives this weapon an edge to the other melee weapons available in the game. But let's talk about that later. For now, let me discuss on why I said that this is the perfect melee weapon right now in Warframe. So why did I say that this is the perfect melee? To tell you honestly, this is not the best melee weapon when it comes to dealing damage on single targets. There are more superior weapons when it comes to dealing massive damage to single targets. And in fact, there are some setup that can one-shot a target. I'm talking about daggers with covert lethality. Daggers can easily take down targets one at a time and it outperforms this Zor in that scenario. However, I know most of you don't usually use daggers on a mission. There are certain missions that daggers are more suitable for use, but not all. In fact, most of the time, I know most of you are using weapons with range and most of you like to kill multiple targets at the same time. Yes, you might say that you are using a dagger with Exodia Contagion, but the truth is, this Arcane don't work every time. The self-damage is dangerous, and it doesn't work really well at high level, especially if you are up against heavily armored units. So, this is where this Zor excel. Hitting multiple targets, and killing them fast. Now there are certain weapons also that can do this feat, like the Mighty Legion, or the Maiming Strikotarax, or even the Wicked Guillotine Prime, but Friede's Great Scythe have a slight advantage against these weapons. This Zor can crowd control, able to build up combo counter fast, and kill a bunch of enemies much faster than the weapons I've mentioned earlier. How? Remember that this is a Zor and Zors can equip a great arcane called Exodia Hunt. Exodia Hunt is what separates Zor weapons from other Warframe melee weapons. It basically makes them a better weapon because of its ability to group enemies. This arcane may not work on every Zor, but it works perfectly well with Friede's great scythe. Remember that we have Temper Royal Stance, and it got some slam attacks on its combo. It's really a perfect combination because I also mod this Zor for attack speed. This is why this Zor is so perfect. It got damage, range, crowd control ability, and some speed for a heavy blade. You don't see that quite often on a melee weapon, and that is why I labeled this as the perfect melee weapon right now. It's a do-it-all melee and it can totally wreak havoc in the field, especially in missions where there are tons of enemies like the new Sanctuary Onslaught. Okay, let me give a little preview on what this weapon can do. To really have tons of fun using this weapon, I suggest that you use it with Inaro's build for pure tankiness, and then equip it as a cavat. Give your Inaros some crit chance also with the Arcane Avenger, and you will see those red crits and enemies going down so fast. By the way, Exodia Hunt does not just pull and stagger enemies, it also makes enemies susceptible to finisher attacks. So yes, it's really a great arcane and making Friede's great scythe extremely powerful. So that's it. Friede's great scythe is the perfect melee weapon for me as it offers damage, speed, range and crowd control. That's what I'm looking for in a melee weapon, and I have found it on this awesome heavy blade. Now I did not put my hands yet on the other new Zor parts, I have just seen their previews and stats, but I'm really excited to build an Ikana and a Hammer Zor. I will try out these new Zor parts later, and I will definitely make a video on this. For now, I strongly suggest that you try out this heavy blade Zor. It's a ton of fun playing with, and I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy this Zor, seeing it wreak havoc in the field. Before leaving, please do me a favor and hit that like button if you enjoy watching this video, and, for first timers, you can join the Grind team by simply clicking that big red subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.